So, safety is an essential ingredient of pleasure, and pleasure is an essential ingredient of desire. So, if you are a married woman who wants to learn how to want and enjoy sex more with your husband, then you need to learn about safety. And the most important thing when it comes to safety is boundaries. What are you okay with, and what are you not okay with? Now, it's one thing to figure out your boundaries, which I encourage you to do, and I have so many videos about that. But it's another to enforce them. And it's another to figure out when you are not honoring your boundaries and you need to re-communicate things and reestablish safety in your relationship so that you can genuinely have a good time in the bedroom with your husband. So in this video, I am going to be talking about 3 ways to know, 3 warning signs that are going to show up if you aren't honoring your boundaries. My name is Janna Denton-Howes. I am a desire coach for women who are married to men and also the creator of Wanting It More. That is an 8-week group coaching program that has now helped over 1,000 women want and enjoy sex more with their husbands in a way that feels authentic and nourishing and not guilty or pressury or forcing yourself to do it, which a lot of people are talking about, just doing it. We don't do that over here. So here are the 3 ways, the 3 warning signs to know if you are really, those boundaries are getting a little bit floppy and need some reestablishing. The first one may seem obvious, but you feel icky. It just feels like something is off. It feels gross. Let's say that you establish a boundary that you do not want your husband to ask you to perform a certain sexual act. It's just not been something you want to do in the past. It's not something you want to do currently. And furthermore, him asking you to do it just feels gross and yucky. So he goes ahead and he asks you, maybe not in such a direct way, but maybe in kind of a subtle way, or not so subtle. Something like, I really wish that we could have oral sex at some point, or do you think you'll ever want that in the future? And you just start to feel kind of icky inside. It's just like, oh, gross. That is a clear warning sign that something is off and you need to re-communicate and reestablish that boundary. The second warning sign is that you really have a mind wrestle. Just a mind wrestle. Well, should I? Is this okay to have this boundary? Maybe it's something that I should let go of. Maybe this is kind of selfish or a little bit controlling. Maybe this means that there's something wrong with me. Maybe there's trauma in my past that I haven't figured out. I don't know. So whenever you start to really go back and forth, it's a clear warning sign that you're really not honoring your boundaries and you really need to reestablish and re-communicate them. When you are fully in your boundaries, it feels really clean. It feels really, black and white. There isn't a lot of self-diagnosis and self-blame that goes on. It's just, this is what I'm okay with. This is what I'm not okay with. That's just the way it is. So he can cross those boundaries, he can forget about the boundaries, but if you're honoring your own boundaries, you're going to say, nope, that's not what we do here. I've told you once before, we're good to go. But if you just start to feel that icky feeling and you're really not saying anything, or you really have that I don't know, is it something that I have permission? Is this something that I could actually say and do and want and put a line across? I don't know. Then that's a clear warning sign. And the last one is you start to use the words let or allow. Well, I guess I'll let that slide just this one time. Maybe your boundaries is that he doesn't touch your breasts unless you invite him. Well, I guess I'll allow it to happen this one time. I guess maybe I should let him. Those 2 words are words that I am constantly looking out for when my clients and participants are talking about their sexual experiences and have created boundaries, but are now questioning them and really not fully honoring them. I want to end this video with a lot of compassion. There's so many cultural messages that are barriers to women. Number one, even knowing that boundaries are possible for them. Number two, determining what they are. What do I actually like and not like? Because we are taught to put other people's needs above ours, to almost feel comfortable with feeling unsafe. So, and there's also a lot of barriers around, oh, you're too emotional, you're too sensitive, you're selfish for doing this. No, you're not. Safety is an essential ingredient of pleasure. Pleasure is an essential ingredient of desire. You're not going to want and enjoy sex very much with your husband, and he benefits from that, unless you feel fully safe. And if you're getting a little murky with your boundaries, if you're not being able to honor your boundaries, if the lines are really getting blurry, then it's so easy to slip back into old habits. So I hope this gives you permission to go ahead and reestablish and recommunicate those boundaries with your husband. And I wish for you a tremendous amount of safety and comfort and joy and relaxation in the sexual experience moving forward. I'll see you in the next one.